Against this right back, Charlie.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on, Ian. Special guest setting. Cecil's in the building. What you saying, my guy? With it being pre-season, it's only right I got you involved, man. Once again, one love, man. What you saying?
One love, man. I'm good, man. I'm a little bit tired. I've just done some running, innit? I don't ever run ever, but I feel like this is my last year of playing football because I feel like I'm getting old. So
you say trying to go out with a bang?
Yeah, just trying to get fit. Like I just feel like fitness is important to make me play to the level that I can play at. So running, but I'm feeling good. Just come back from it, and yeah, man. Like you said, we fly out next week. So we fly out on Monday. So pre-season, my actual favorite time of the season.
Why?
Because there's just no stress. There's no haters. There's no idiots. There's just pure love. There's no pressure because it's not serious. We get obviously I do a lot of work at AFTV to get us access. To get to either meet the players or be in the press conferences, and all that's patterned for this season. And just like, I think pre-season is just relaxed. It's like the build up before the season starts. You get to see obviously new players, and it's pure love in America, man. So can't wait for it, bro. Honestly, love it.
You said it there, yeah. I wanted to ask you this, and you kind of tied into it. Obviously, we've been in America a couple of times, and obviously there's a bunch of football fans everywhere. How have you seen the growth of the sport, or the growth for Arsenal kind of grow in the 2 years or so we've been there, or you've had to fly out there?
Yeah, I think the growth for Arsenal on that basis, I can't really speak on too much. I think it's always been massive over in the States, the Arsenal fan base, and around the world. Obviously, a massive club. So from when I first went, it was huge anyway. So I can't really talk on that. But what I know of from working with CONCACAF, football or soccer over there, as they call it, but football over there,
you won't say that.
Yeah, man, it's definitely expanding. It's definitely it's football fever over at the moment. I think you can look at the Copa America final, people trying to break in through the air vents and all that, and they're like,
madness.
It was chaos over there, and that's what to say. It's always been like that, but I feel like because of the build up due to the World Cup being in the US, Mexico, and Canada, there's a lot of focus on football. And I've been over there in CONCACAF finals. I've been with the governing bodies of football around in the US, and I can just see they're putting a lot of money, a lot of backing behind it. Even the US men's national team, they're looking stronger. They just sacked their manager. They're looking to get a new manager. They're looking to really kick on and go for it all when they host the World Cup. So there's definitely a big push for football over there now. So it's growing in that sense. Arsenal-wise, I can't really talk about too much. I just know it's obviously I never went to a pre-season US tour before being at AFTV. I've never experienced anything like it. From when I went to my first one when we were back in Orlando, it was incredible. So for me, it's massive, but I can't really speak on what it was like before. I know Robbie's been a few times, and Gooner over there and stuff, and he said it's always mental. But the love for Arsenal is global anyway, as you know.
Have you run into any of because obviously I don't want to say there's none in England, but I don't really hear of fan clubs, whether it's Arsenal, Man United, what have you. But I know in America and a couple of others, for obvious reasons, there seems to be a lot of fan clubs or hubs or pubs that are designed with getting people together. Have you come across any of that?
Yeah, so last year, for people that are listening in context, I had the pleasure of obviously setting up a lot of the content and the activities that we wanted to do over there. I have the kind of same job this season actually as well, funny enough. But last season I arranged it was like a live talk with one of the Arsenal is LA Gooners, so some of them were there. Was in LA, so they were there, and Highbury squad, the Squaddies. We had Sophie there as well, so big her up. So we did it in a pub. I think it was called don't quote me, the Fox and Hound, I believe. It was in LA. Really nice venue. It was in the garden. Really nice turnout. A comfortable turnout. I'm not gonna say huge because it wasn't massively promoted, if I'm being honest. But it was a packed out pub garden, and it was really nice. It is on the channel. We had a good talk.
Check that out, folks.
Yeah, check it out. There's some serious conversations had about the love and hate of the channel and how things have changed, and the love across the pond when it comes to Arsenal, and obviously the season as a whole last season. So the season before technically. So yeah, man, we bump it. I think every trip we try and arrange to meet with the local fan clubs in the area. So Arsenal do the same. I'll be real, I kind of know this as well from obviously working at AFTV. I know that Arsenal reach out to the local fan clubs, and we kind of do the same just to kind of get an idea of what's happening, because the US fan clubs, they get basically priority on all the events when Arsenal go, which makes sense when they come over.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously they got to show them love, so they get all the access. They know about all the fan events and all that, and all the legends, because there's always bring legends over to meet them and the players and stuff. So we try and get in contact, meet up as well, do something similar, share the love, and yeah, man. So there is a lot of fan clubs over there, and they live and breathe this. Like, let's not forget, they get to watch every minute of football, because it's not geo blocked when it comes to 3 o'clock kickoffs and stuff. So they're passionate, man, and they know their football. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice to link up with fans all the time, but especially the ones that are abroad.
I wanted to ask you, yeah, obviously, you've been all about the place. What would you say is the maddest moment then? As in what you do, like, because you've done madness, like you've met cronkies and all sorts. So like, what was the surreal moment? Like, wow, raw.
Do you know what? Funny, this has popped up a few times, and I don't obviously I'll just be open and honest. I know it sounds like man's name dropping, or I'm like,
that's what we want. We want honesty, man. We want like how you actually feel it.
Speak the truth, yeah. So like, obviously, recently, BBC Ranked, it came out. I was just on BBC with Flex and all that. And we did a show, and then I did. There's a Lad Bible show coming out called Agree or Disagree. It's coming out very soon. We filmed it last week, and they basically asked about what was your biggest moment, or what fan over club over country, and I said, listen, it definitely was club over country, but there was a moment I had during the World Cup. It was the Qatar World Cup. I didn't obviously go to the World Cup. I was working with CONCACAF and FTBL, and that was my biggest moment. I got flown. I went to about 12 different places. I think we went to 10 different countries.
Madness.
Places over the span of the World Cup, going to each nation's home, land, and then reporting from the fans doing TikTok. So to name a few, I went to Canada. We went Toronto and Canada, New York, Costa Rica, Mexico, Argentina, Brazil.
Madness. Passports got hella stamps.
Crazy. So that was my most amazing thing, because I got to be in Buenos Aires, Argentina, when they won the World Cup. And for me, I don't believe I'll experience anything like that. And during that time, obviously, I went to LA and America. It was that World Cup period when I saw the Cronkies and Mikel and Edu and all that, and Tim Lewis all in that random restaurant in the bar. Mental, like that whole experience. Nothing. I don't think anything will ever top that. I mean, that photo is hanging on my wall downstairs. Like as you walk into my house, like you see that, like me stood in the middle of basically the Arsenal hierarchy.
All the decision makers, really. Yeah. Well, it is that.
Exactly. So that was part of that World Cup trip where it ended when I was in Argentina, and literally there was over 1 million people on the streets. Like it was like World War. It's World War III, but it's not that. It just what I mean by that is everyone's in the streets celebrating. It was like carnival.
Only Mesut Ozil could find space in a packed place like that, man.
Yeah, Deluded. Literally, like it was shoulder to shoulder, chaotic. And that was all the way through 24 hours. So from when they won the World Cup all the way through to the next day, there was just people on the street, and it was just like the best experience I've ever had in my life. So that is probably the one that sticks out. And people that don't know me or listening, and obviously won't know who I am potentially.
Man, they definitely do. Stop being humble, man.
No, I know. If you haven't, like, obviously before AFTV, like I was doing a lot of things. I was a performer. I was a footballer. I played at amazing stadiums. I played with great players. I've been a professional footballer. And if I'm honest, all those experiences are quite low on my list when it comes to what I've achieved and what I've loved the most, because I don't know, I left football. I made a decision to quit trying to be a professional footballer, and then end up living amazing things. Working on the Sidemen charity match was another one that stood out. Being in the Little Mermaid live action film as one of the dancers/actors, and being a world film premiere, like all of those things really stand out. And then
surreal, man, inspirational, man.
Yeah, man. So those things kind of stand out to me. But yeah, I think the World Cup experience, and some people say that was the best World Cup there has been as well. I think I can agree to that.
It's up there. They're definitely debatable.
Of course. So so for me, that was the experience that's lived with me, bro.
Obviously, as much as it's great to hear that from you, I noticed you got a hoodie, reference to Bukayo Saka. Euros, man. Talk to me, man. It's been an interesting 48 hours, bro. We've lost the European final. Obviously, Southgate's been hooked. What's your thoughts on the Euros, man?
Oh, sugar, yeah, right. This morning he
Perfect timing with this video, man.
Yeah, mad time actually. I was actually I was supposed to do a video on that actually. I'll do that after. But for work. But I don't know, after the Euros, I don't know how I feel. I feel it's weird. As soon as we lost, it just kind of went like my mind just switched to move on, is what it is. Next day, come on, let's bring back club football, whatever.
Back to Arsenal mode.
Yeah, exactly. And if I'm honest, I shouldn't really feel like that. But I think with the pain of, well, Arsenal finishing second. We've been there, we've been through it, and then the Euros last time being in the final and losing again. I didn't want to get too attached emotionally to this one in the sense of like once it is finished, to start dwelling on it. I know we kind of have to do content around it at work, but like I kind of just switched off. I was on DR Roundup yesterday and was speaking about the Euro final, and I just kind of was like, gave my opinion on it, and then was like, let's move on, let's just keep it going, like, because like, again, we can't put too much energy into it. We lost again. A lot of people, a lot of it, frustrations were always with Gareth Southgate before, during, and I suppose a little bit after. But now he's gone. I think it's just kind of time to look forward as a team. I think I was saying from the beginning, Harry Kane should not be starting in this side. I've been screaming it from the group stages, but I get it. He's the captain. I knew Gareth Southgate wouldn't drop him, and it's come out later that he was injured for quite a lot of the period of the time he was playing, which frustrates me. A lot of people put that on the manager. I do as well, but also the player as a captain. I'm sure conversation was had, but I still kind of put some responsibility on Harry Kane to be like, look, let me just step down for the betterment of the nation. But yeah, I just think it is what it is. The players that stood out to me, Mark Gahey, fair enough. Like,
done very well
in Euros, he was unbelievable. We were linked to him, Arsenal, and I actually think at the time I wasn't too fussed if we got him. I thought I was quite confused at the time because the links between Arsenal and Mark Gahey were quite early when our defense was solid. I didn't really see how he comes in, but I get it. If he's a backup, if someone goes down, he's there. But I actually think he's probably good enough to be playing in a first team somewhere in the
playing week in, week out for one of the top 4 to 6 teams, really.
Exactly. I think he deserves that instead of coming into Arsenal and being a bench man. And then him, I have to big up Kobe Mainu.
Done very well.
I just got to give him his flowers, bro. Like, I love young talent. I watched him play against us in pre-season last season in New York for MetLife Stadium, and he bossed it in the midfield. They had a lot of players out.
Yeah, United fans were trolling us about Declan Rice and whatnot after that. I remember that.
And that was his first game. That was his first appearance in the Man United shirt in the first team, and he absolutely bossed it. And from there, I said, "Oh, it's an interesting player." Obviously, I didn't jump out my seat. I just thought, fair enough. And then when he came in towards back end of Man United season, I just thought, yeah, he's quality. And then for England, he just looks unfazed. And then I have to talk about Bukayo Saka. I think for me,
another good tournament, man.
Of course, maybe biased. It probably is biased because people might go to Mark Gahey.
Nah, at this point, he's been good, man. He's been good. Like, he's been. Man, people can see. Don't put him left back. None of that nonsense. You can see what Saka brings to the table.
And this is it. Deluded. Like, you can play him left back, and he's comfortable. The biggest compliment is he has to be in the team. Like, yeah, whatever happens, exactly. You got to find a space for him. So for me, that stinks of success when it comes to me as if I was a player and I knew whatever happens, I'm going to be in the team anyway.
I'm vital to the side, yeah.
Exactly. When he's playing left back, right wing back, or right wing, like, he's effective. And I think he was England's most effective player as well. I know people go to Jude, maybe for the last minute bicycle and maybe Ollie Watkins, but for me, consistently, because Saka was there and he's won 2 years in a row England's best player. I think he should get it the third time. I think he's been sensational, and I've never been so proud of an Arsenal player in a long time. I think when he scored that goal, I think it was in the quarters. I haven't celebrated England goal like that. I don't think ever. Actually,
it's like watching your younger brother or son or something, Saka, man. Like, you'd think we'd be comfortable with it, but he just somehow manages to keep surprising, even though he's been doing this for a while.
Unbelievable. Like, the kid is a joke. Like, he's a joke. And I know Jude's last minute was elation for a lot of the nation, but little bars there. But but Saka, for me, that goal, I just jumped out of my seat. I was like, yeah, wicked. You really are the star boy. So I have to big him up. I feel for them. I do feel for them because I saw how emotional they were. I saw, like, as they were leaving the stadium as well, they're going through the mix zone. I wasn't there, obviously, but I saw it on the
first time I saw Foden, to be honest, in them post-game cutscenes, if I'm honest with you, right?
And you know what? Yeah, you're spot on there. And I'm gonna bring up this conversation because I was on DR Roundup yesterday and we were just talking, and this thing came to my mind. I spoke about it and it went out as a clip, and I still stand by it. They talk about Foden, and don't get me wrong, watching him at City, he's unbelievable. He's actually a joy to watch. I love the quality and ability he has, and I think he's so good in that Pep system. But that is where it ends for me. In that Pep system, he's superb. When you put him in an England shirt, and I haven't really seen him anywhere else because he's a Man City player through and through. But when you put him out of that comfort zone of being under the Pep and in a Man City side, he's exposed. He's flawed. He doesn't turn up, and he didn't turn up in most.
It's the second European Championship he's been the poster boy and brought nothing to the table, man.
Exactly. Both European campaigns, wasn't good. In the World Cup as well, wasn't great either. So,
another one.
So that's something to highlight. And the reason why I highlight is because I talk about versatility. Bukayo Saka can be in an Arsenal shirt, be a standout player and carry Arsenal on his back. In England, he can do the same. Play him any position, left wing back, right wing back, whatever, right wing. He can carry England. He's versatile. Look at Cole Palmer. I spoke about this as well.
Bad boy footballer.
Went from a City side, bad in the City side, wicked. Scored a goal against us in the Community Shield, wicked. Left there and said, forget this, I want to be playing. Went to Chelsea, a dying Chelsea side, horrendous. Couldn't find a tune out of anyone. He goes in there, puts Chelsea on his back, unbelievable. He's versatile.
Does the business.
Came into England, adapted, nothing phased him. Quality player. That's, to me, true quality. He can play and stand out at any team, any level. And then I even went in as I didn't do this on DR, but even I can go as deep as Kobe. Like Kobe is 15. Sorry, not 15. He's young, and came from Man United in that midfield, a tough position to really be a young player.
Southgate didn't even want to throw him in there, man. He done the Trent thing and the Gallagher thing, and he done well, man.
Exactly. But
final was the only time he looked a bit underwhelmed. But I mean, the man's 19, 18. If we're living or dying by his performances, we're in trouble.
He's 19, but it shows the versatility of the young boy already. Like going into the Man United side doing well, going into England side and not drowning. It just shows the versatility. Unlike the players like Phil Foden, I just feel, listen, he's a quality player. I'm not going to take that away from him. He was the Premier League's best player last season. But I'm just saying, look at his versatility and how he can adapt. That's something to maybe question. It'll be interesting to see what happens if he ever leaves Man City. But there's question marks over him and his international career. Same with many players as well. A lot of players let me down in that England side. Kyle Walker, another one, absolutely lost through the whole tournament.
Final really as well, man.
Really sad, yeah, because I rated Kyle Walker, but he was all over the place in it. And Harry Kane we spoke about as well. There's obviously some other people who spoke about Foden as well, but like Harry Kane for me, listen, he can't come off a 42-goal season, so I can't say he's finished and he's washed, but the injury may be affecting him. But there is something to look at. Does he make the World Cup starting 11 in 2026? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what he does this season, but 3 players let me down, and that's Kyle Walker, Foden, and Harry Kane. But we're over it. Euro's done. Spain and I'm sorry. Finally, Spain deserved to win it from the beginning. They won
100%. They were the only team that was actually, I feel, pound per pound quality game in, game out. I'm not gonna lie. I think the Euros was quite poor. I think there was some great moments and stuff, but pound for pound, 90 minutes entertainment, quite rubbish. And I think the final was a low key affair as well, and it was kind of fitting, really and truly. I think in the final, when we scored, there was like a 5-minute passage where, for some reason, Spain looked rattled. Other than that, we're conservative. We're playing with a handbrake, and I think you're right with Foden. Like, I love Foden. You know, he's got natural abilities, a generational talent, but I just feel he's the only player that's talked up like this. And you're not living or dying by these performances. If Palmer doesn't turn up, if Saka don't turn up, if Vinicius, people even onto Mbappe, nobody says anything. And it's another one where he's gone under the radar. Now, don't get twisted. I'll give him a bit of tax because Southgate, for me, don't know what he's doing. The midfield and everyone's dislodged. They're just in several places. But I just don't see it with Foden, man. I think it's because City have never had to live or die by his performances in the same way that it's really in the only last 2 years, bro, that if Saka can really have a bad game, 9 times out of 10, if Saka didn't turn up for Arsenal, we're not getting 3 points. And I just think Foden is babied, really. And he's 24 now, bro. Like, I'm not trying to scapegoat you or anything, but we need to see it. Like, great, you do it at City. You're going to batter Ipswich like 6-1 and score a hat-trick in the last 20 minutes. But when we need you, I don't see it, bro. That's just me, man.
No, I agreed. I'm fully with you there, Deluded. I'm fully with you. And just to highlight Spain again, like,
big up David Raya, man.
Yeah, man. Big up David Raya, obviously winning. I just think for me, they deserve to win it from the beginning. I'm watching them the most exciting team along with Germany, but I just feel like football to me at times, I go through phases where I hate it. I just feel like it's dying, it's boring, it's robotic, and
a lot of it is boring, man. It's just systems in that now, man.
Exactly. But I watched Spain and saw Nico Williams and Yamal,
ballers.
I just thought, you know what, this is what I want to see. It's like classic. Every time Nico Williams got the ball, he faced his man and head up and just thought, let me run it. Like, I haven't seen wingers do that in such a long time. I haven't seen him say, let me try, do a couple step overs and beat you.
I'm not even going to lie, even Bukayo Saka in an English shirt, not to throw shade at Arteta, but I forgot Saka could do 1-2 skills. I don't necessarily see that in an Arsenal shirt, man. It was refreshing.
Facts.
I couldn't believe it.
I got cussed at AFTV in the office for saying that. They were saying, you don't watch Bukayo, blah, blah. I was like, brother, every time for Arsenal, he'll get the ball, he will shield it, he'll cut inside. Yes, he keeps the ball, but he doesn't try and beat his... Listen, Saka's been effective. He gets assists and goals for Arsenal, but what I saw of him in this tournament, I was like, this is old Saka. Like, he's trying to run past his man and just and trying to, create these openings to get a goal. But of course, we saw a little bit of that at Arsenal, but it wasn't towards the back end, I didn't see that. So it was refreshing to see that from Bukayo Saka. And I got a lot of stick for that AFTV, but I just said, like,
nah, you're speaking facts, bro. Like, we all got eyes. You can see it. Like, I don't want to say he's playing with freedom, and maybe there's a degree of England are quite crap, so he's looking a bit better, but he had some freedom. Maybe it's because he's not, well, he was triple marked in the tournament, but it felt like he had more space and he kind of clocked. It's like the way I was looking at Saka in the England shirt, it was like when Arsenal was shit, like, I've got to do this kind of thing right now, or we're in trouble, really. I've not got Odegaard and these kind of players. So yeah, man, I don't think you're wrong with that. It was refreshing to see Saka with that, and especially I was calling him in the Euros the Black Iron Robin. Like, he's becoming inevitable, cutting off that right hand side. Like, you can't stop him. I'm not gonna lie to you though. I gotta be fair though, man. I can't get at Foden and Kane and whatnot. Declan Rice. Now, for me, the best praise I could say is I ain't seen you do that in a West Ham or an Arsenal shirt. Again, the system, everybody's a shambles, but Declan Rice looked nervous and uncomfortable, man. Is it because he's been playing in this 8 role? Is it he just had a poor game? Is it Southgate? Where you at with Rice, man? He looked rubbish. I'm not gonna lie.
He didn't. Yeah, he wasn't. I'm not gonna say it was completely crap. He just wasn't to the level.
Exactly.
And you know what? I'm not gonna give him excuses because I feel like a lot of Arsenal fans. I see Robbie do it a lot. We give excuses to say like the player next alongside him made him feel exposed. And I'm not gonna give him them excuses because Declan Rice is actually a world-class player. When I've
and you're a leader as well.
I've seen him at Arsenal. Yeah, I've seen him be comfortable in Champions League games. So it's not like the occasion got the better of him, in my opinion. I just think he didn't have a good tournament. He was, and I don't want to give him an excuse. He wasn't great. He wasn't to the level we've seen him. So that's maybe on him as something to definitely look at. There is some conversation of, yeah, okay, cool. When players are playing next to him like Trent and that, he might have been a little bit left more exposed. But I don't want to give him that excuse because I think he's such a good player that he should be able to handle. Regardless,
you will know that as well.
Yeah, he should be able to hold that. And I know he's playing against nations that, you know, have some of the world's best players in, but I'm chatting rubbish. Some of the teams we played against in the group stages, like he regardless of who you got next to you, you should still be comfortable enough to own that midfield. But maybe it was just the lack of balance we had within the midfield that might have caught him out a little bit. But on top of that, he also didn't have a great tournament. So yeah, I'm not going to say he was the worst. Like I mentioned, like Kyle Walker, Harry Kane, and Foden, but Declan Rice didn't have his greatest of tournaments, and it's a shame to see. But I'm sure when he's back, he's obviously back. Actually, I don't know when they're going to be back at Arsenal. Actually, I don't think
probably what I think I saw something online like they're going to come back 2 or 3 weeks after the boys who exited the group stages. So yeah, man, they probably will be back for America in some capacity. You'd imagine these are like you said.
Do you know what I'm debating this if they'll go out to America because I don't know. It's so soon. You normally get. Like, it depends if they want to come back. Some players come back.
That's why I think they will, bro. I think they will. I think Saka and Rice put it to bed. Let's just go in it. Like, I'm disappointed with England. Let's just get back to stuff. I am a bit concerned. Naturally, obviously, I'm not a physio. I'm none of these guys, but we all know the minutes Rice and definitely Saka have played. But I genuinely think they're just going to get back to it. I think they're just going to relax with their family, recharge a bit mentally, and I think they want to get back to it, man. And going back to your point, I think you're spot on with the Declan Rice stuff. But I do give everyone, including Foden, a bit of tax in that. Footballers, it feels like footballers, not that they're stupid in today's day and age, but it's all systematic. Yeah. Declan Rice knows exactly what he needs to do when he gets that ball for Arsenal. When he's got it out in England, in an English shirt, we can't play out from the back. He does look a bit exposed, but it's the first time I've seen him look really nervous, man. But go on with your point about joining in America, man.
Yeah, I just think like it depends what they put stock into. Whether they're going to put stock into Declan Rice and Saka being out there in America for the US fans and, you know, the publicity and all that, and then being there. And obviously they're playing 2 big games, Liverpool and Man United. They're playing Bournemouth as well, but I don't expect them to be there for that because that's the game on Wednesday. That's next Wednesday.
Too early, man.
Yeah. So if they do come to the Rivals in Red campaign, which United and Liverpool, they might miss the Emirates Cup games. I think that would be that's why I say
that's a good point, really.
Yeah, what stock they put into, because I think they might want to come out to America, be with the team. Because I know the team were training in Spain previously while the tournament was on, so they might want to get some of the training in America, get into shape, do the little bits they're looking to do for this season, and then leave when they come back to the UK, have a break, have a rest for the Emirates Cup games. Don't let them play them, which is only a week, but it's an extra week they can have off, and then bring them back for, I suppose towards the start of the season. So I don't know what they're going to do. I just think it should be one or the other. If they do both, I think that's insane. I don't think they will. I think that's crazy. But I think it should be one or the other. But listen, I'm not part of the Arsenal team, so I don't know. But I think that's what they should be looking at doing.
Does that concern you though, going into it? Because obviously, as you said at the start, you know, putting the Euros behind us, obviously we're over a month away from Premier League football, but we've got Rice, Saka, probably Saliba as well. Big up Saliba for team of the tournament as well. You know, they're all kind of behind in schedule or per se. Obviously, we still haven't signed a player, an outfield player. Technically, we're going to get onto it, but we hear about this California stuff. Now, I can't remember, but it felt like, if we go back a year ago, it felt like Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, these kind of things were kind of done and they were going off to America.
Yeah.
Does that concern you going into next season then, at this moment in time?
Signings wise, yes. I'm not going to say the international tournaments concern me. I think the international tournaments affected the fact we haven't signed anyone so rapidly like we did last season. Last season we had all this done. There wasn't really major tournaments going on, so we could get a lot of business done early. And also I'm never gonna damn a player for playing for his nation. I think we as fans don't want them to, and want them to be ready for the season, and it can affect the start of the season. But for me, I would imagine as a player, like their sole
the highest honor
is playing for their nation. So I can't damn them for that. I understand that's what they want to do. But concerning me about signings, because like you just mentioned there, by now we actually had all our signings pretty much done. I remember. I
knew I wasn't bugging out when I said that. It felt like we did.
Had them all done. I saw them all on tour. So all of them. Kai Havertz, Rice, Timber was there. So it was all confirmed, all set in stone, and we was cooking as well. So it's annoying because it feels like that formula was the right one to do. And even in America the season before, went to Orlando, like few players
and Jesus, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Jesus. I remember seeing Zinchenko in the stands with Edu when I was in Florida against Chelsea. So that was pretty much, we knew that was happening as well. There was quite a few signings ready, just ticked off. I don't remember if Lukonga Tavares came in that season, but I know Lukonga was in.
They're gone now.
Yeah, trust me.
Right.
They were in the team at that 2 years ago as well. So it's a concern because it feels like Arsenal are going about the same routine as what they've done in the previous seasons. That's got them, I wouldn't say success because we haven't won anything, but it's got them second, and it feels like they're going to the same formula, same state. Well, not same state, sorry, same country. They're going to the US again. They're following a pattern. I think Mikel Arteta has spoken about he prefers to get players in early as well and getting them prepared for the season. Hasn't really been able to do that.
Hasn't been possible right now for whatever reason.
Exactly. I expect Ricardo Calafiori to be confirmed. Oh, a little insider is we filmed I filmed the welcome video for that. So I'm quite confident that it's going to happen. I don't know yet though, because I haven't seen anything to do with his medical being booked in.
That's for me. That's the thing.
That's the
it seems like there's still I's that need to be dotted and T's that need to be crossed, and find the little intricacies around that.
Yeah, Robbie seems quite certain it's done, but I was just like, bro, like he was on holiday, which I knew, and then after that, I normally know when the medicals, or he's going to the training ground to do the medical. I haven't really heard anything. Maybe they're being really quiet about it, maybe they're not, but I know that we'll be ready for it to drop soon anyway. But I just think he should be confirmed before we fly out. But I think the whole team flies out Monday like we do as well. So this week really should be confirmed. But I just don't know I just don't know what's happening because I haven't seen any information about the medical and that. But anyway, so yeah, I am concerned about it. And if I'm honest, Calafiori, quality player, would be an amazing addition to Arsenal. But I need a striker. I need cover for Saka. I need signings sooner rather than later.
I was about to. You've covered that well, because like someone, I got a couple questions for you. Someone was like asking again, do you think we need a striker? And I think we're both in agreement of that. If we can, obviously we need either cover for Saka or someone that can compete with him. We just need another versatile attacker. As well as I do, central midfield is a massive area that needs to be improved. And I hear the left back thing with Calafiori because definitely if you go back to the Maries, the Socrates, the Mustafis, sorry for triggering PTSD. But now you look at our options. You've got Saliba, Gabriel, Benjamin White, Timber, asterisk next to Calafiori's name, but it seems like he's coming in. Zinchenko, I know he throws a lot of people and he might not be the guy, but he does have something to offer. Yeah. On the Calafiori front, though, like, obviously, we've seen a lot of turnover on the left-hand side of our pitch. Declan Rice has been over there, seen injuries. What do you make of his signing? And do you think, because I'm sure you've spoken with fans, when everyone's doing their starting back five, it seems like everyone's assuming Timber isn't going to play left-back and whatnot, and he's not in the strongest team. What do you think that means for Timber and Tomiyasu?
I don't know.
It's good problems, though.
Yeah, it's good problems. I don't know because I haven't seen Timber since his knee injury. But let me tell you, if he's fit and he's anything like he was before the knee injury, he probably does start left back. I'm being real. Like he plays, he was so good at fullback, even in the Community Shield game.
So versatile as well.
I know he's naturally a centre back, but he was playing fullback in the preseason and in that Community Shield game. So for me, he plays left back. I think Ben White keeps his position right back. I think it's Saliba and Gabriel in the centre back positions. Let's not forget Tomiyasu can play left back, but I wouldn't put him in. But I think it'd be a Tomiyasu and Ben White fight out for that position. I think Calafiori and Timber, Zinchenko as well be in there as well, be in the list, but it depends what happens. But yeah, I think Timber starts for me. I think if, in my opinion, I think Calafiori is going to be fighting for that position. I think he could overtake Timber, but I have to see it. It's Calafiori or Timber, but I don't know what Timber is like since his knee injury. However, Calafiori, I'll be real with everyone. I wasn't an expert. I've done the research. I had to. It's part of my job. It's what I do as well. And he's a perfect profile for Arsenal. I just think there's so much, some things people don't know as well, or may not have seen, that he's out of the top top 6 leagues. He was first, rated number 1 for centre backs. He was playing centre back obviously last season for most assists with 5 assists. So he's a creator as well. He's not, and that's from centre back. Imagine what he can be doing from left back.
His progressive passes are ridiculous.
Exactly, and as well as being tall, he's 6'2". He's my height. He's quick and he's strong, and I think he has all the capabilities to be the starting left back.
Good problems, man.
Exactly. I just need to see him. One, I see Timber back after the injury, and 2, I need to see Calafiori in an Arsenal shirt, because Arteta does this thing where, especially left back, I don't know what left back he wants. Do you want a left back that inverts and becomes a creator, or do you want a left back who's just solid as defending and maybe does the overlap, which is nice because you can have both options. But I don't know what Calafiori is in this Arsenal team. So we'll see.
I think you're bang on the money, man. In that, obviously, you look at last season under Thiago Motta, he's been playing centre half. He's kind of played centre half and left back for Italy. He's played in the back 4 and the back 3. We just don't know really, because obviously form, fatigue, game state, all of these things injuries all play a part as to who's going to be in the starting 11, and they've all got good problems. And I personally feel Arsenal fans, it's like a double-edged sword. We always say we need depth. We need 2 for every position. Then when one comes in, we're always, that one's done. They're finished. It's good problems, you know. As you said, Timber and Tommy, they can play all across the back 4. Don't make sure you're not the one that Arteta leaves out. If we've got Timber on the right-hand side with Saka, that could be crazy. If we've got Benjamin, that's crazy. If we've got Timber, that's crazy. Obviously, where Calafiori is concerned as well, he, for me, indirectly puts a bit of pressure on Gabriel, because respectfully to Kirio, I've never really been convinced by you. I think you're a decent player. I don't think you've had the platform. But these are the problems we need. And, you know, you go back a few months ago, we were speaking about it the last time, we've got one of the smallest squads. We need depth. Even the Champions League is a new format now. So I'm all for this. I will give Calafiori time, because obviously he's 22. It's a new league. It's all of that kind of stuff. He needs to learn what Arteta demands of him. But we've got good problems, you know, like Timber's an animal, a unicorn. Calafiori looks great. Looks like one of those looks like a new age defender, but old school Italian brother as well. Tommy, for me, you know, if you're playing against Mo Salah and you need someone just to be onto him, Tommy's your guy. Can't diss Benjamin White. And obviously we got the centre halves, man. So we're living. I need
these problems just quickly up in the front 3. That's what I need. I need these problems in the front 3. We have
You're not alone, man. And it's weird, bro.
All this good competition defense. When it comes to the front 3, it's like, bro, like we know what we've got. We know who's going to be start. I need that exact same level of competition up front and the exact same quality, but we'll see.
And it's weird that you say that, because like I agree with you, and I feel a bit mixed on it, because we got 91 goals, 100 odd in all comps, and that's promising that we don't have someone that's a prolific bagsman. If anyone would be that, it'd be Saka. But where you look at upgrading or going to the next level, when you look at our front 3, as you just said, I love Martinelli, but until you get back to the Martinelli of previous seasons or go up a level, you're kind of in that situation. You know, you look at the right wing, the left wing, and obviously the striker. Only Saka is the one you're like, you know what, one day you could be Champions League, Premier League winners with him on the right hand side, with the greatest of respect to Kai and Jesus, because they've won those trophies, but that level of consistency. So I'm with you. I want those problems. I want those problems all over the field. Like I would say for me, I'm more lean towards central midfield, because I just think if anything happens to Jorginho or Partey, we're in problems. And I feel you've got the 2 pieces to a 3-man puzzle now. You've got Odegaard, you've got Rice. Big up the 2 names I said, but if you get that other one, we're really laughing, man. And again, you know, if you get that midfield, I promise everyone, if we get a midfielder, whether Declan Rice is going to play in the left 8 or he moves to the right and we get that guy, and you've got a Timbo for a prolonged period or a Calafiori, we're going to stop looking so lopsided on that right-hand side, because I think there's a lot of things that have gone under the radar. Like there was a lot of turnover at left back and at central midfield. And I do think that affected Martinelli's form. Obviously, he has to hold his own L. That's nothing really to do with it. But we need that. And I'll say the season before the last one that's just gone, that was refreshing because we equally looked dangerous down both sides, man. Speaking of centre halves, yeah, someone asked me to ask you this as well. Where does Saliba rank now? Is he the best? Had to.
Yeah, slightly a loaded question because I don't know. It's hard to say. For me, from what we've seen in the campaign, obviously Deschamps put him left centre back, and he coped with it fine. Like, he's so versatile, he's so calm. He obviously got in the tournament defender tournament team of the campaign, I guess. You know what I mean?
He didn't go out like Van Dijk playing everybody on side.
Exactly. So I don't want to be recency biased because before the Euros, I would be saying Rudiger because I think he's unreal. I think he's an old school, aggressive centre back, and I think anyone would hate to play against him. But I think for Saliba, it's hard to me. I think Rudiger's up there for one of being the best in the world. But I think who you'd want in your team, I think for me it is Saliba. But for longevity as well, he's young, he's up and coming. He's kind of got past every test. Had the best defensive record in the league when it came for Arsenal last season. People understand how good he is for his nation as well. Now there's not really the argument of but he doesn't get into his nation side.
Yeah, Deschamps had to change his mind on him now, bro.
Exactly, and I've seen the reports of a lot of French fans loving Saliba. So for me, it's here nor there. I think it's a very close one.
Yeah,
it's a toss up, but obviously my bias will lean towards Saliba. That's why I said it's loaded, because I know people in the comments will be like, how can you say that when there's Rudiger and all this? But do you know what? F it, man. Yeah, man, I stand by my player, Saliba, best in the world. Now, anyway, definitely.
That's why I asked you, man, because it's techie, because I think Saliba is, as you said, he's passing every test. Whether he can play on the left or the right, it's redundant. He's growing in importance in the French team. The last 2 seasons, he's been pivotal. He's improving so much. You're seeing, I think he's got personality, but he's showing a lot more personality, and the way he talks, he's believing in himself. The only thing that stops him, maybe on form, he's got a debate. I just think it's a double-edged sword, really, because as you said, he's young. He ain't really got that air of longevity that them lot have. And I always ask myself, you look at, let's just say, Rudiger, Van Dijk, and Saliba. Is Rudiger consistent, like head and shoulders above them? Maybe. Is Van Dijk head and shoulders above them? Maybe. Is Saliba head and shoulders above them? Maybe. I can't convincingly say he's better than the other two, pound for pound, really and truly. I mean, I'd rather have Saliba for longevity, but if we were in a Champions League final or whatever, Saliba don't shoot me, I would lean towards Rudiger. I'm not going to lie, because he would die on that pitch. Not that Saliba wouldn't.
Yeah, well,
it's a techie one.
If it comes to a final, that's what I'm saying. If you go to a final, you want the experience. You want like a Rudiger in the side. But for me, if you want it in your team for, obviously, like I said, longevity for a season or what.
Yeah, Saliba all day of the week, mate. Every week.
Final Rudiger. But then again, it's a tough one because I think a lot of people will go to, but what has he won? That's always the argument.
This ain't tennis. It's 11 players out there.
But from what I see with my eyes and the level of ability and how I judge a player, I think Saliba's up there. I think Rudiger is the best. Like you mentioned, if you put him in a final, then tomorrow you'd choose him. But if you're going to go for longevity, you go for Saliba. But like I said, people may go to what they won, but I just think that's a flawed argument right now because, I mean, there's still time for him to go and win stuff, and he's doing it. He's being a defender. And to this level at a young age, I think, Van Dijk, when Saliba was coming through last season, them
man weren't doing this at Saliba's age. So it's double-edged. So like Saliba has to do it at their age, but they weren't where they are at Saliba's age.
Exactly.
You're right.
Exactly. Van Dijk was at Celtic and them places there. So it takes a lot of time. But Saliba's doing it at a young age, and I respect it. So Saliba for me, but there's bias in it. But what do you expect? I'm an Arsenal fan, man.
Kind of tying into that, obviously, like where you look at our whole team, you've got Odegaard, you've got Saka, you've got Saliba, you could throw Martinelli in there. You've got a couple of young players and whatnot of tomorrow who could be world class if they're not already. Who would you say has got the highest ceiling? Because I'm torn between Saka and Saliba now, and I think people leave Odegaard out of this conversation a lot. Like, I don't know why, but I think they do. I can't say it's not Saka. Saliba looks special. Man, with good problems, man. Remember when we was happy to just see Willian or Reece Nelson start? We've got good problems at this club now. It's crazy. It's a tough question.
Deluded, I'm stealing this question, bro.
Steal it, man. And there's nothing new under the sun, bro. Do your thing.
I'll be real. When you see it on AFTV, just know I'll try to credit you.
Big up, man.
This is a fucked question.
It's fucked, bro. That's why I had to ask someone else, because I can't answer it. I don't think anyone can. And
I don't
again,
know, bro.
throwing Odegaard into it, I think people sleep on Odegaard.
Odegaard's a crazy one because how people leave it. Because the thing is, for me, yeah, Kevin De Bruyne is one of the most favorite players to watch. I think he's unbelievable as a midfielder, and he's going to go down as a Premier League great. Odegaard can reach that. I'm telling you. So
By God's grace,
to put him out of the conversation to me is crazy. But then again, Saliba and Saka could do it. They could, bro. I don't know where they could go in this thing. So it's just like
they're both kind of flirting with it now as well, man.
This one's crazy. This one is mad. I have to go. I don't even know. Just give me 2 seconds. I think with me, I'd have to go with the reason I'm doing. I'm gonna look at the ages because it's gonna sound.
They might even be same age. What? Saka's 22, Saliba's like 22, 23. There might not be too much in it.
Yeah, Odegaard's 25. The reason why I say is because
Odegaard as well. He's a bit older. Saliba's 23, just turned 23.
Just turned 23. The reason why I do this, he's just turned 23. You're right.
Saka's 23 in a couple of months in September. This is mad. We got some ballers at this club now, you know.
Exactly, and I know. Like people will say, it's part of a cop out by going for like the youngest and that. But I have to think about what are you going to achieve, and it's not always about trophies. I get that, but you have to think about what you're going to achieve in the time that you have left playing. For me, for ceiling, because you can keep going. I think that all their trajectories are up. So I just don't know who rises to the next level. But like I said, if Kevin De Bruyne which seems like he's flirting with the Saudi league and the links there, if he comes to the end, I think Odegaard takes that spot in the Premier League of like one of the most creative
player,
your midfielders. When I know Bruno and that's in there, but I just think Odegaard's another level, and you'll see that more and more. Depends how this team flourishes under Mikel Arteta. So he's going to have a high ceiling. People are definitely underrating where he can go. Saka, I mean, he's in England. He's in an England team. He's flourishing in that. I don't see Odegaard. I mean, Odegaard does flourish in Norway, but he's not going to really achieve the greats.
Unfortunately, you can't talk to France in England. It's peak.
Yeah, exactly. So Saka can really push on in both nation and club. So that pushes him up there. And then Saliba, I just think Saliba for me is the dark horse, but he can literally be. I think he can go on to be. Yeah, I don't even.
I think he'll play for Real Madrid one day. I'll be real. I hope we achieve something there. I think he's destined for them kind of clubs, respectfully to Arsenal.
I think it goes. To be fair, so it's annoying about Martin Odegaard because I actually wanted to put him top, but I'm gonna have to put him at the bottom. I'm gonna have to put him third. Then it's gonna go. Is it Saliba or Saka?
This is it.
I prefer Saka. I'm a fan more of Saka than Saliba. Saka's my favorite player, but I don't know what it is. Like you said, I see Saliba doing more. I don't see Saka can go to Barcelona, Real Madrid, whatever, but I actually see it more for Saliba than I do Bukayo Saka.
I agree.
And I think Saliba will do more for his nation's team as well. So over England. So I think it goes. This is crazy. That's a great question. Saliba, Saka, and then Odegaard. And I'm stealing that one. I like that.
Nah, teeth it, man. Do you know what? I would have said Saka first, but then from what you're saying, and then what's tipped the balance for me, the Euros and just Saliba is a bit like Saka in that they're good, but they surprise you just how they're with it. And I think the temperament of both of them is quite good. I'm gonna tip it towards Saliba because I just feel it's easier for a defender to get your accolades, especially in today's day and age. Obviously, goals and assists are important. They've arguably never been as important in today's day and age as previous seasons, but I think too many people hide behind that. I've seen many a player score bare goals in a season, but if you're honest, they've been crap. They've scumbagged it really and truly. Equally, I've seen them have games where they haven't necessarily done that, and I just think that not that Saka doesn't bring the numbers, I just don't think he gets the appreciation because I wouldn't say he's a sexy footballer. He's not doing a bunch of pointless skills. He's, like you said earlier, he's effective. There's a method to the madness. He's definitely not basic. And I just think with Saka, people don't want to rate him because he plays for Arsenal. He's this, that, and the third. I think they're forced to rate him because you're seeing what he's doing for England and Arsenal. Saliba, they tried to play him down. You can't not look at the greatness. So I'll say Saliba first, Saka second.
I was going to double back. I'm just going to double back my
go ahead, bro.
My statement and say Saliba over Saka. And the reason why, listen, I love Saka and being an Arsenal fan, like I said, he's my favorite player. And being an Arsenal fan, I see what he does for Arsenal week in, week out. But when it comes to, like you said, numbers are a big thing. And Salah's seen as one of the greats. His numbers, look, 217 was 32 goals, 10 assists in the league.
He's a madman.
22
and he still don't even get his credit because he's not attractive to watch. Like,
exactly.
jarring.
Salah, 2018-19 season, 22 goals, 8 assists, 2019, 19 goals, 10 assists, and don't want to be rude, but Saka hasn't reached those numbers. So I'm not saying he can't, because he may be able to, but I'm just saying like there's still levels to be seen with Saliba, clean sheets and how he is, and being with in a France nation team that
Man of the match in almost every top 6 game we played as well.
Exactly. I think there's more, and I think there's still more for him to come. Like he's a young defender. Defenders normally peak later, so he's got loads more to learn, which means he's got more of a ceiling. For me, he's got more of a ceiling. So just want to make that double down on.
No, you're right, man. I would say the only thing with Saliba, if I'm honest, the only time in the last 2 years I've seen you look like a young centre half has probably been in the Champions League against Bayern Munich. Now, you're human, these things can happen. Yeah. And I think indirectly, maybe that Champions League experience has made him a bit more confident in the French team, really, because it's like you have to put your hand in the fire. It's not a better example is for these guys to get to a level, people always talk about potential and what they could be tomorrow. And they fail to understand, like, you got to go through the steps. It's like riding a bike. If you want to be able to do wheelies and BMX tricks and whatnot, you're going to fall off that bike. You're going to need stabilizers. And as you said, I think people need to remember that these men are young, and we live in a day and age where, let's just say, some random 16-year-old plays for Arsenal or in the Premier League. He's the bee's knees after 30 minutes, and it's just crazy. I've got a couple questions for you before I let you get out of here. Yeah, obviously Smith Rowe, there's been a bid rejected from Fulham. What do you make of that? And also simultaneously, what do you make of Eddie Nketiah to Marseille, chap?
Quickly, Emil Smith Rowe. I
don't want it to happen, but it probably needs to, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans. He's a fan favorite. I think we spoke about this in our last video. We did, but I think I'm looking at the angle of which I need to kind of speak on a little bit on AFTV is how much are Arsenal looking for? Because I think a lot of these players that Arsenal are holding on to, I think they're wanting big fees. Granted, cool, that's good business, but are they unrealistic? I need to know this, because I think for Eddie Nketiah, I'm sure Arsenal were looking like they wanted like 40 or 50 million. And yeah, because we did a video on it. And I think that threw up a lot of like conversation around, whoa, are we overvaluing our players or is this fair? But I think we had a big argument in the office about it, because Balogun went for like 35 million. So why shouldn't Eddie go for 50, 40? And to be fair, that's a
valid point, to be honest.
It's a very good argument. So I said, fair enough. But like, we also need to get rid of these players. I remember speaking to Turkish, and Turkish is like, bro, like, just I don't care. I don't care if he goes for 15, 20. But again, that's people's agendas, and he doesn't really care if how much they go for. He just doesn't want to see Eddie come on in the last 10, 15 minutes, try and get us a goal. And that was his argument. And
Premier League starts last season for Eddie.
Exactly. And I also see that as well. So it's a tough one. I want to know what bid was. I want to know how much it was for, because I don't know. Emil Smith Rowe, to me, is a great player. I think we get the best out of him if he stays. But I want to know how much that bid was and why are we rejecting it? If it's more than, like, I don't know, say if it's 20-something million, that does feel low. But okay, close to 30 million. I think you should accept it. I don't know what the bid is, but if it is around,
I'm trying to hold out for 35, 40, man, because we rejected that in January.
That's the conversation. Well, that's the conversation. I need to know what Arsenal want to be valuing.
He does have 2 years left on his deal, though, and he hasn't played. But
there you go.
If these guys were at other clubs, I know we always say this as Arsenal fans, but if these guys were at other clubs, 100% they're getting big money for him, really and truly. Because we know Eddie Nketiah might not be anything to scream and shout about. The same for Smith Rowe, even though I think he's the bee's knees. But if they go elsewhere, I think they'll find their feet. Like, what I will say on Eddie Nketiah is he does respond to adversity. He does have the ability to surprise. He is an England international, one cap, but he is an England international. He is Premier League proven, and he is kind of young for a striker. As you know, being a forward, you do peak late. And I just feel logically, I just think clubs abroad are bad mind, innit? Like, yeah, he's been linked with a lot of Premier League clubs, but if you're Marseille, you're trying to get him for the cheap. You come here, you do your thing, and we'll sell you right back to this English market for a little profit. So it goes back to what you said, and you could even throw Ramsdale in, like, what are we trying to get? And it goes back to what you said also, because I don't think they can win with Arsenal fans, because we sell them for the cheap. Oh, we can't sell. Yeah. We're holding out. Oh, you can't win sometimes. You know, it's actually peak that you can't win. You can't win. We took a hit on Lokonga already, so let's try and make some bread, man.
No, that's a very good point. That does make me laugh, actually, because you're right. Yeah, you don't sell them. You get cussed for price them too high or not being able to do business, and you do sell them for cheap. Then it's like, oh, why are you selling them for so cheap? We clearly can't do business.
Can't win. We can't do business. Why these guys got jobs? It's peak.
That's a good point. That's a double-edged sword in itself, and something definitely to bank as well. But I don't know. I just think Emil Smith Rowe, I wouldn't mind seeing. So if they don't get the right money for him, then cool, it is what it is. I'm not too angry at that. Eddie, I feel I want another striker. So I feel like to do that, you kind of got to let someone go. I think if you're in a business, that makes sense. You let someone go to bring someone back in. So I don't want the fee to be crazy. However, that argument about the Balogun thing was spot on. If he's 35 million, then surely you should be able to get. Eddie's done more, really. I know Balogun had a really good loan spell, but Eddie's in the England under-21s top goal scorer. He's also the captain. Plus what he's done, he has scored.
He's also technically been the number one at Arsenal Football Club for a period. You know, when there's been injuries. To be fair, Balogun don't have that on his CV. Respectively,
exactly. So his price should be somewhat respectable. So that's why I just think, respectful. Sorry. So I just think when people at the office Turkish that was saying 15, 10 million, I don't care.
Nah, we're rubbing ourselves, man. I expect Nelson to go for them fees, but 15, we're rubbing ourselves, Freddie. In my opinion,
you have to look around the 30 to 50 million. I mean, it is a lot, but and with Emil Smith Rowe, you got to get right money for him because that's the thing. Like you said, if he goes to another team, if he went to a Villa or whatnot, he would cook. 100. And
that's what I'm scared of, man. It's written in the stars he scores against us. But I understand we have to make difficult decisions. And for Smith Rowe, I think he's at that stage now where I clearly love Arsenal, but I need, and to be fair, Eddie and Nelson as well. But I've been here since a little kid, probably like 7 years, 8 years of age. I might need to divorce to be the best I can. Like clearly Arteta rates him, but I think you're in that double-edged sword in that last season. Obviously, we were doing our thing. We were doing our job. But the first thing, as you know, with a football background is just getting results. If the team is poor and whatnot, then man can get opportunities. That's what I think killed Smith Rowe. But also at the same time, I'm sure everyone would agree there could have been times Smith Rowe could have come on and should have come on really. And for Smith Rowe, obviously, it looks like Arteta is not really keen on you playing on the left-hand side anymore. It's like you're going to be one of the midfielders. Now, is Fabio Vieira going to be ahead of you in the pecking order? Are you going to be a genuine option ahead of Partey or Jorginho? Obviously, we're linked with a bunch of midfielders, Moreno, the latest. So it all depends, man. And one reason I'd like to keep him is I think people forget, when he had that great season, there was also a lot of times he was coming off the bench and impacting us. Like for me, we need a squad of 20 if we want to be serious next season. So it's techie, man. What are you saying for Eze?
I want him. I wanted him. So we did. We've done a show obviously, and everyone on the panel wanted Elise, and granted, Elise is a good player, but I said Eze over Elise, and I stand by that. I just think he's so versatile. I think every time, even when he played against us, Palace were a bad team, but he stood out. So for me, Eze, I think he'd be the right choice for me. I'd really like to see Eze in the side.
So versatile as well.
Yeah. So I'm for that. I'll be real. Eze, yeah, definitely. Obviously,
last two questions for you, broski. Last two ones. First one says, I need to actually I can't even read this. The font is way too small. Big up the fans who ask these questions. Do you think, hey Cecil and DG, one love, Chris. Do you think we will persist with Rice in the 8 role sometimes, or does he need to settle at DM and add new attributes to his game instead? How do you see our midfield next season?
That's a good. I want him in the 6. I want him in the lone 6 with 2 10s or 2 8s.
That would be lit.
In my opinion, I'd love to see that. Just let the attackers attack and be free. However, I never really see Arteta coaching or training a player so heavily in a different position to then go completely revert to his original position in next season.
Yeah, like to forget about it.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to me. I think he stays in the 8. I think we improve in that midfield as Partey moves on. We bring in a 6. So for me, he probably plays in the 8. I just would prefer to see him in the 6 with 2, 8, with like an Eze and an Odegaard. Mental.
Cooking.
Mental for me.
Imagine a sunny day at the Emirates with that midfield. We're cooking.
Bro, a joke. That would be a joke. Yeah, Declan Rice, Eze and Odegaard, mental. So that's the dream. It probably won't happen because I don't know what their plans are for next season, but I don't see that happening too much. I think next season Arteta is going to really load the midfield. Me and James spoke about this in the last game against Everton. He put the 2 fullbacks were inverting into the midfield.
So Smith Rowe even got game time in that game as well. Speaking of the devil,
exactly. He was inverting the 2 fullbacks, which means they'll kind of congesting that midfield space along with, the midfielders. So I think if you have a lone 6, then you have 3 people in that midfield section, 2 people. Well, Declan Rice will probably sit actually. So you'd have the 2 fullbacks inverting plus the 2 midfielders in front, and then
hella overloads.
Attacking front 3, overload everywhere. And I think that is impossible to defend against. And I think for that to really work, you have a lone 6. But I don't know if I'm honest. I just think Arteta wouldn't train, like I said, coach, and like Declan Rice said, I've been learning this new position. You wouldn't do all that, in my opinion, to then revert back to the 6 role. But never say never.
It's techie, man, because like I feel a bit conflicted. I feel like I do think Arteta wants multifunctional midfielders. Like I always say, Douglas Luiz, because he can play as an 8 and a 6. I think in an ideal world, he's got Declan Rice and Luiz who could do that. Then he's got what you're saying in that one of them could be the holder. Then you've got 2 rotating 8s. That's what I kind of think he does. I agree with you in that, you know, you wouldn't teach him to do that. Not even just in the 8 role. All the things Declan Rice is doing to them revert. But then again, could he? Obviously, Rice isn't Rodri, but could he kind of play that Rodri 6 where Rodri still attacks and whatnot? And was it circumstantial then for Declan Rice? Because obviously part of his injuries are spanner in the works. He's had Jorginho and whatnot. Was it just a thing last season where Arteta said, you know what? I think Declan Rice has the raw capabilities to do this. Let me just kind of run with it. It's not the best of examples, but same way, like there was a time where he was using Mesut Ozil, he was using Nicolas Pepe, and it seemed like we turned the corner, and then the season after he kind of went away from them. So it's actually seeing is believing, bro. It's difficult, man.
It's a tough one, and I think you're right.
Only Arteta can answer, really. Like,
yeah, but I think Arteta knew he wanted to. He hasn't. We haven't sold Partey yet. But I'm sure they knew they were looking to move, or they had to.
He's numbered,
yeah, soon. So I am surprised he taught him that he's teaching the 8 role when Partey really is the 6. So surely you'd get him to just be a natural swap. So. Yeah, mate. Listen, I don't know. It's an Arteta question.
Good problems, man. Like I keep saying this all street. Good problems. Last one for you, my dude. Sorry, he said, I want to ask though, what would your feelings be if we only signed 3 goalkeepers in a midfielder? But, yeah. Underwhelming is all I could say.
3 goalkeepers.
3 goalkeepers, because I think David Raya technically probably a number 2, and then there's them Dan Bentley rumors. So
yeah, we just saw that young one from Ajax.
And the young one as well. So yeah, probably 3 goalkeepers, and I hope it would be a midfielder. If, like, I don't know, I'd prefer an 8 over a 6, but it all depends. But one outfield player. Well, in fact, you hope Calafiori would be there in it, so it wouldn't be that. But I think you need to get a midfielder and a winger personally if you're not going to get a striker.
Because if I'm honest, if I'm being real, I don't 100% believe we're going to get a striker as much as everyone wants.
I've given up, bro. I want to be wrong. I gave up on the striker team.
Yeah. I just think the hope will kill you when it comes to if you're hell bent on Arsenal signing a striker, you might be upset this summer. So I've kind of let it go as well, if I'm honest. But yeah, if we have Calafiori a midfielder, we definitely need another winger. But I mean, I'm not going to be throwing my toys out the pram. It will be brought up throughout the season if we don't succeed. I'll tell you,
1,000,000%. I'll be right there with you doing such as well, Cecil, man.
Exactly. Even by January, if we're not where we were last season or in that playing with that Vim and whatnot, then there'll be conversations definitely and angry fans, because this summer you have an opportunity to really
self-inflicted issues, really,
and get yourself over the line. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. But I'm not going to go mad, but it's something I'll be banking, which I hate doing. I hate having things in my arsenal, excuse the pun, just to get back at the manager, because I like the manager. So
I like what he's doing, but you have to be held accountable, man. And it's like what you said there. It's like the striker thing's weird. I would love us to wake up and we've got Osimhen or whatever striker who's been linked with, Isaac, whatever have you. But I could also understand if you don't feel there's a market opportunity. I'm prepared to not give up, because it would make me feel a lot better if we had that. But I don't think you can not get a striker and a versatile attacker, whether that's, I don't know. But you'd imagine if a winger comes in, they're probably more likely to play on the left. I think we need someone that's going to get some numbers, really, because, again, the last 2 years we've scored goals, and we both know we're going to score a lot of goals next season. But who is going to get them? For me, Bukayo Saka is the only one that I would bet my life savings was going to do that, because you've done that. I know all the others in theory have the capacity and the ability, but there's a lot of fluctuation with them. I don't know if Kai Havertz is going to continue. I would love to see Gabriel Jesus look like the guy we wanted, or especially the first 6 months. I've kind of given up on that. Trossard, he does his thing, but I don't even know if you're going to start like that. Martinelli, he's of that stage now where you need to kick on and try and not reach Saka's level, but that kind of level of consistency. Or I just think this is going to be not it for you, but this is as good as it's going to be. So it's a lot of unanswered questions. We're going to create chances. And I always say, think back to that December period where we just needed a goal. Now, we could have a striker and they still don't back, but there was many times we needed goals. And had we have only got 4 more points of this last season, me and you are having very different conversations in the streams we've done. But we can only deal with the realities, really. And that's why I'm prepared to say, just get me a winger in it. Like, get me a versatile inside forward. You can't not have both. You can't. Like, it's suicidal. And you look in the Champions League, it's a bit different because you can't really go and get Vinicius's and Mbappe's and all of these kind of players. But I do think we need some individual brilliance, someone that can just make something happen out of randomness. Not to say we haven't got that, but boy, it's good questions. But if me and you were talking about this, Arteta must know this.
Yeah, amen. He's an intelligent man. So yeah, hopefully I have it all covered. And next season is glory, man. I hope and pray.
Third time and lucky, man. Play whatever God you not believe in, or gods, or whatever religion. Make sure you're going church, mosque, synagogue, whatever you have to do, because we need this, man. I don't know though, because it's Pep's last season. He's a villain. I hope the footballing gods are kind to us. Innit? I would love to see a Prem or champs. Prem feels like it's within touching distance. Champions League, you probably need a lot of luck, and it feels like a pipe dream, man. But Cecil, this has been amazing. We've overran, but we've covered everything, my guy. Appreciative to that, man. I'm not gonna bother you until August, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate this, man. Let people know they can find you as well, my dude, man.
On,
not
man.
That they need that.
Yeah, man. Cecil_G, and yeah, you'll see me about. I'm sure. We're in the space. So yeah, love for love as always. Big up what Turkish says, but big up.
Word to Turkish, yeah.
Big up everyone that shows love, man. I appreciate it more than you know. So blessings and thank you for having me on Deluded, man. Love everyone.
Minor, man. You know you're part of the family. Always welcome here. People, again, by the time you're seeing this, always info is going to be in the description. And not that I think you need to know where to find him, but there you have it. But yeah, man, I've overran this show with Cecil. Let me let him get out of here, man. He's got other stuff to be doing, man. One love, my guy. Peace.
Love. Peace.